Hello, ICCJ conference participants. Sorry I cannot be with you, but warm greetings from London, indeed greetings from Europe still, famously the most secularised continent. However secular we in fact are, different European countries have made very different settlements with faith communities. The United Kingdom is arguably particularly interesting. The constitutional settlement is complicated. In England, we have an established church, my own, the Church of England. There are bishops ex officio in the upper house, and some church law must pass through Parliament. The Church of Scotland is not established, but is the national church. It has the monarch's allegiance when she is in Scotland. In Wales and Northern Ireland, no church is officially privileged. Anecdotal evidence suggests that it is precisely people from faiths other than Christian who most value the element of established religion we have. They tend to believe it secures three things: that the nation as such is not atheist or godless, but collectively honours the divine; that religious views and behaviours may of course be criticised and ridiculed, but can never be outlawed simply because they are religious; and that faith community leaders, a contentious term of course, will have the ear of their local bishop, at least in a crisis. More generally, the British settlement is much more accommodating of public displays of religion than, say, French laicism. People can wear overtly religious dress in almost all circumstances. The armed forces, prisons and hospitals all pay for chaplains. The state and faith communities run some schools together. All of this is contested. A recent survey, 2014, of people's self-definition suggested that the single biggest group, 48.5%, was the noms, no religion. That doesn't mean, of course, that they identified as atheists, any more than all non-voters are conviction anarchists, but it is a shift. Perhaps most of the controversy concerns how to deal with religious phenomena that get called radical or extremist. Part of the counter-terrorism machinery of the state is the so-called PREVENT programme. From my own perspective as a Christian in ministry in East London, a third of the population in my borough are Muslim, I can report that this is much resented. It is often experienced as saying that Muslims are unique dangers and threats first, and must prove they are peace-loving citizens. And now teachers and others have a statutory duty to report evidence of radicalisation even among young pupils. As it is statutory, teachers will naturally operate the precautionary principle and will over-report. This means people from socially conservative religious backgrounds with no connection to terrorism are being told by their parents not to engage in any discussion on, say, personal or sexual ethics. And intensifying this mutual suspicion is the proposed counter-extremism bill. It is vital to note that this would not outlaw violence and the glorification of violence, nor discriminatory hate against other minorities. These are already against the law. No, this refers to other forms of what is judged to be extremism, something with no clear definition, an intrinsically relative term. The danger is that this will outlaw peace-loving and but socially conservative religious people. Further, it will give plausibility, not truthfulness, but plausibility, to those who are radicalised, who will say to others, "You see, it's not really violence they're against, that was always just a cover, it is Islam they hate," and now they're just being a bit more honest about it. At least, such would be one mainstream British Muslim perspective. Others see things differently. In particular, voices from the Jewish community have tended to welcome the proposed legislation. Both the Board of Deputies of British Jews and the Jewish Community Security Trust have said they see merit in the Prime Minister's view that no one becomes a terrorist from a standing start, but that a heady mix of bigotry, conspiracy theories and hate, which fall short of calls to violence, are the gateway, and these as such must be stopped. Fortunately, the UK is also a place where good news stories of functional interfaith relations abound. Particular mention might be made of the annual Holocaust Memorial Day commemoration on the 27th of January, now embedded in the civic calendar, the annual Mitzvah Day, bringing Jews and other religious groups together to work for the common good on the ground, and interfaith and intercommunal iftars, breaking the fast of Ramadan, with friends old and new. One such took place this year at the residence of the Archbishop of Canterbury. Another was at the Reform Shul, the West London Synagogue. Here an iftar feast was followed by scriptural reasoning, and then the night of learning for Shavuot. All in all, then, the UK offers a particularly involved case study. We are, as they say, condemned to live in interesting times in interesting places.